This is Cast Iron ASMR, and it's Spider-Man time. As in Spider-Man Time Magazine Special Edition. This came out because there's a brand new Spider-Man movie starring Spider-Man. I saw it on the second day that it was in theaters. And I saw it in an old-fashioned theater with 2 screens, 2 cinemas, not a whole lot of seating, and it was amazing. So let's take a look at this magazine. I haven't looked through this really yet. Sort of flip through it quickly, but I think it tells all the Spider-Man. Look, there's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I collected Spider-Man comics as a teenager. Teenagers. And at the time, Mr. Stan Lee, he was always beacon off. Hey everybody. It's great. Buy comics. Spidey. He was always saying, oh, there's gonna be a Spider-Man movie. And eventually, there was. Look at that. They've all been great, I think. And this latest one, somehow I don't think I was as excited, somehow. I think because, I don't know, because it was a brand new day, and I had those comics. And maybe they weren't my favorite. But oh, it was good. This was a movie, in my opinion, that they couldn't have made until now. They wouldn't have made until now. It kind of felt like 3 or 4 comic books. And I really enjoyed it. When I was really little, look at this guy. That was like the first live-action Spider-Man. And I must have seen that on TV one time. And I also got it confused with, there was a children's program, The Electric Company. And they had a live-action Spidey who would help you read. But when he was in his costume, he never spoke. And I think that was the same as this. What is this here? 1970 live action series. Oh, spoiler. They do this position in the movie. The classic cover to Amazing Fantasy number 15. Drawn by my birthday buddy, Jack the King Kirby. I don't know. I'm sure if you're a Spider fan, it's not little known information, but it was Steve Ditko who did the interior. And Jack Kirby. Oh, there he is. Here it says each version of Spider-Man feels like a different chapter in the same story. I don't think that's how I think it feels. But they're good. Oh, when I first saw the first Miles Morales cartoon one, I wondered, is this my favorite Spider-Man movie? I loved it. And it felt more like a comic book than any previous Spider-Man movie. most of the movies with Spider-Man. I'm so excited that I won't watch any trailers or interviews. And with this latest movie, I did watch a trailer. I saw the Supergirl movie, and the trailer was they play before the movie. Then Spider-Man. There was a trailer for Spider-Man, and I had about a couple seconds to think, should I watch it? Should I close my eyes and not listen? I had done that before in a theater. But I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to watch it. This will be the only time, I thought. I was so excited to be at the theater. And it didn't give too much away. Even going to the theater, I knew from that trailer that the Punisher was going to be in it. They never call him the Punisher. His name's Frank. They don't even say his last name. I like to think that Frank didn't tell Peter his last name. Ah, here we go. Is that the one from... No. But I think Spider-Man likes to teach kids how to read. Alright, let's look at this. Oh, this is the timeline. The ultimate timeline. 1962, it begins. Some comics. The animated Spider-Man show. Uh-oh, there's a turning point. Oh, here we go. Here's the clickbait. That comic publishers like to do there on the cover. Oh no, someone close to me is about to die. I cannot save them. That's what the cover says. This one here, this yellow one, it's a turning point. Issue 121. Who is it gonna be? Oh no. Like, how close is he to Robbie Robertson? It should be Aunt May. But it wasn't. It was another one of the females. So that was a big turning point. Where's that? It's probably this one. 1973. But I won't spoil it for you. That's cool. That's funny. It was always neat to see Spider-Man in costume. Yeah, when I was growing up as a kid, cosplay wasn't a thing. Superhero costumes at Halloween consisted of those cheap plastic half mask things with a little hole. What's going on in this timeline? Yeah, a live-action TV series. I don't think that did very well. Oh, look at this video game. Is that for the Atari? I don't know that I ever played this. I might have that comic. I don't know. I don't think so, actually. Then he got his black costume. I wanted to start collecting Spider-Man comics when I was a kid, like younger than I did start. And at one point, I don't know how old I was. Like, probably not even 10. Maybe I was 10. And I thought maybe it would be neat to buy comic books. Because I had Archie comic books, but I thought Spider-Man. And so I mentioned this to my brother. Actually, let's look at the year. 1984. Yeah, I probably was right at this time, and I would have been like 9 years old. And I mentioned to my brother, I said, hey, I think it'd be cool to maybe buy Spider-Man comics. He's my older brother, and he said, you can't just start buying Spider-Man comics. I'm like, what? Why not? He goes, it's a big long story like a soap opera. You just can't start reading it and buying it. He said, did you know that Spider-Man has a black costume now? He's got a black costume. You don't know anything about Spider-Man. And maybe I didn't know it. It was pretty quick or pretty early in his black costume days, and I thought, well, okay, older brother, you can't just start buying comic books. So, I don't know, 6 or 7 years later, I decided, yeah, I can just go buy some comic books. And I started, and I liked it. There's where Spider-Man got married. I just looked at that comic not too long ago. It's where Venom first shows up in issue. What does it say here? 298. I don't have that one. Or the issue 300. But I do have them reprinted, and I have this reprinted in a trade paperback. By this time, I don't have any comics with Spidey with this logo. They went back to their original. So I just wasn't buying comics. And if I were to see that logo, which I probably did, I thought it was lame. When this first came out, oh my goodness. I went opening night. I lived in a city. And you think, oh no, it'll be so busy. But holy cow, the very first Spider-Man movie in a giant mega Cineplex type theater, they had it on. I was going to say dozens of screens, but I bet they were showing it on at 6 or 7. And we went to the Late Show. And then it was so awesome. It was so awesome that the next morning I went again. In a city, you can go see a movie anytime you want. So I saw The Late Show. And then I went on a morning date. And I went to see the Spider-Man movie. Oh, Spider-Verse. So, yeah, it's called Spider-Man Brand New Day. The new movies. The new movie. And interestingly enough, I have these comics. I started buying comics again when, just before it was Brand New Day. The same idea. So in the movie, Spider-Man, where is he? Well, he forgets everything. Everybody forgets him. He wants that. So that's what happened in the comic. But it was because, excuse me, Marvel writers don't know how to write a superhero who's married. They always think Spider-Man can't be married. How could we possibly write stories for that? So at the time, they thought the only way we can reverse this is if Peter Parker makes a deal with the devil and says, can you make sure that everybody forgets I'm Spider-Man? And that's not how it went. Aunt May was dying. Aunt May's been dying since Amazing Fantasy number 15. But Genius Parker thought, well, Mephisto, think Doctor Strange was part of it too, maybe. But no, it was Satan. He's like, save my Aunt May. I'd do anything. And he's like, would you erase your marriage? He's like, no, not that. Oh, I guess so. What a weenie. But anyway, I'd heard a bunch about it, and I'd been reading about the Spider-Man comics and what they were doing, how they were ruining them. J. Michael Straczynski, that's not his name. Michael J. Straczynski, like, made retroactively made Gwen Stacy get it on with the Green Goblin and have a baby. I knew I wasn't interested in reading those. Anyway, so a long rambly minute later, you get to a brand new day, so they could start all anew. And I collected it from then until the Amazing Spider-Man series ended. Did you know it ended? It should have ended a long time before that. That's what I thought. I'm not some old crotchety guy who's like, oh no, we can't have new stories. And so they ended it. And then he died. But not only did he die, Dr. Octopus was dying. Spider-Man was there. And right at the crucial last moment, him in a coma, and just like, I think, oh, it was kind of horrifying. It was like a body with no limbs, etc. He put his brain into Spider-Man and Spider-Man's brain into his brain, and nobody was the wiser. And then Amazing Spider-Man ended. What a happy ending. Fitting for the Parker look. And then they stopped it. The Amazing Spider-Man ended. And you know, you gotta start it from number 1, and they called it Superior Spider-Man. And it was Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man's body being Spider-Man for the whole run. And I think I bought all those too. Oh, there's Mary Jane. MJ. Yeah. It's kind of neat. I like how the Spider-Man movies are like how the Spider-Man comics were, in the sense, now we've got this whole big Marvel universe. All the crossovers. They did that in the comics of the day. But I didn't really like or buy, or could afford to buy X-Men and the Avengers and all that type of stuff, where maybe it would be harder to follow the story of those comics if you couldn't buy all the crossing over issues. But with Spider-Man, I think they knew in their heads, some people buy just Spider-Man. So some stuff would cross over a little bit, but it wasn't necessary to have to read all that other stuff. In part, I believe, oh, here's Garfield, Andrew Garfield, because he's just a guy in a suit who's trying to get by with a secret identity living in New York City. As much as I love the Spider-Man movies, when these came out, so there was Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, with Tobey Maguire. This is the third one. And then when these two came out, I was living somewhere there wasn't a movie theater. The closest movie theater would have been probably like a 7-hour drive. So I missed them. I didn't see them until years later, and I saw them on, at home on a DVD. I watched them all two of them. And I watched them with my friend. He had them. He's like, "Did you see the Spider-Man movies?" I said, "No, I didn't see them." So, oh man, he knew I was a Spidey fan. He was my old friend who started collecting comics with me back in the day. We started collecting comics. And yeah, they were a little more serious, I guess. And so, minimalist. Taken down to the core, and even some parts were missing that I thought, well, you could have had. I don't think they had the bugle, maybe. And Aunt May was young, and you know what? It wasn't. I did flip through this. I just sort of flipped through, and I thought I was remembering wrong, because I think I only watched these each once that time. And I was like, whoa, Aunt May's so much younger. It was Sally Field, but I thought it was even Marissa Tomei in these ones. But I was wrong. Oh, the Iron Spider. Yeah, so this was before, Civil War was just before I started buying comic books again with A Brand New Day and killing their marriage and such. But my comic collecting friend, he would go. So my friend moved to the same far off, dirty old town that had no movie theater, no comic store, nothing like that. But that's where they had a spinner rack. And that's when the Civil War was happening. And he would just go and read the comics on the rack, and he was telling me about them. He's like, oh, Spider-Man, you won't believe it. He told everybody he's Spider-Man. And then he kept going and reading them on the rack. He goes, now he's hanging out with Iron Man, and he's got this crazy robot spider costume. I was like, no way. And I was kind of interested. I wouldn't buy them, but I was sort of getting the scoop. And then there was Tom Holland. These movies are very good. I like them. I like all the Spider-Man movies. And I like them in a way that I don't like the other ones. And I like the other ones in a way that I don't like this one. These ones. He doesn't have the secret identity in the same sense, and his life trajectory is different. You got the Iron Man there, sort of being his mentor, and nobody died. There was no Uncle Ben. Oh, that's why it got me when, not in this Brand New Day, but before that, when Aunt May died. It's heartbreaking. I haven't watched all the Marvel movies by any means. I was getting sick of them. But, strangely, I watched Doctor Strange, and I can't say that I have. Well, I might have some Doctor Strange now, but I would never have bought a Doctor Strange. And I was surprised at how good it was. Talk about it. I don't know. A dorky concept. Wizards. Oh, Mysterio. And I forgot about Ned Leeds when these movies started. I thought, oh, who's his friend Ned? But oh, cool, they're making up a new guy. But then I remembered to hear his last name, Ned Leeds. Oh yeah, he's Betty Brant's husband who meets an ill fate. I was thinking maybe something like that would happen in this movie. And then I was thinking, is Tobey Maguire gonna show up? Here they are. Okay, they did it here. This position. So that was in the last movie. I was wondering, do they ever do this in the comics? Where he does this? I don't really remember anything I do. But did you ever watch Japanese Spider-Man? Because that's his position. He does that. He's what's the word? Not adversary. I don't know. Japanese Spider-Man. I have all those episodes, and I've watched the whole series, and it's amazing. Marvelous. Oh man, when they did in the comic books, not Spideyverse, there were all the Spider-Mans. The Miles Morales movie, that was based on the comics that I had, where all the Spider-Mans were in it. I love that movie too. And they were talking about it before all the comics came out, and they said, we're going to stick every Spider-Man. Yeah, the Spider-Verse. They said, we're going to put all the Spider-Man. And I was actually, here's another time when I was really excited about a comic, and I thought they're going to put every Spider-Man. That means they're going to put in Japanese Spider-Man. And they did. Poorly. Extremely poorly. He shows up in his giant robot. Marvelous. And then is like an joke or something. I don't know, one of the other Spider-Mans destroys it. Give me a break. But they did, in the cartoon movie then. Okay, so in the comic book, Japanese Spider-Man shows up for a 2-page spread, and then they kill him. Which was a cheap move and was disrespectful. I was excited. I thought they were going to show them, and they did, and then they messed it up. But at this time, I didn't really I love Spider-Man, but Peter Parker and Spider-Man had been going on so long, and he wasn't likable. But it was something good to read on my lunch break, and it was kind of interesting. They did good stuff with the villains and the cast of characters around Spider-Man. Japanese Spider-Man. And I was losing my train of thought there. Spider-Man and his amazing friends. They even showed that in these comics. And it was kind of funny, but they just used it as a joke. And again, completely disrespecting any Spider fan who remembered that so fondly. I think they killed them all in a few seconds. Oh, they're also kitty, and they don't say bad words like us. But it's better to get sensitive. Oh, I love Spidey. There's Electro in those movies. I don't know why, but they didn't want to use his costume. Guess they think it wouldn't have been serious enough. So yes, the new era. And MJ, in the beginning, I remember people thinking, what? And my buddy there, he's like, oh yeah, have you seen the trailer, who they got? Or MJ, she doesn't even have red hair. And I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered him. Teen Spirit. there's no more Todd McFarlane inspiration in the eyeballs. It's classic. Yeah, see, even, I guess the second one had him bigger than the first one even. Who's your favorite villain? Let's go look through these. It's not the Green Goblin. And I liked how William Dafoe acted. That's great. And Dr. Octopus. Electro there. Yeah, Jamie Foxx. I never saw the Venom movies. How many of those are there? The Lizard. And spoiler, J. Jonah Jameson, he's not in the new movie at all. People don't read the newspaper anymore. Is there even newspapers anymore? And when Gwen Stacy in those middle Spider-Mans was cast, I thought, oh, she'd make a great Mary Jane. Sorry, she's gonna be Gwen Stacy. Like, don't dye your hair red anymore. Oh, there he is. Oh, is this the new one? Yeah, I didn't look at this stuff before. This is the new movie. Daybreak. So when I went to see it, I saw it right there, like, they had heard and seen some stuff, like, oh, there's ninjas. I love ninjas. Like, do you know who the ninjas are? It's like, well, I don't know. I didn't see any pictures or I didn't look at anything. Well, no, that's not true because I watched the trailer. I don't know if they showed them, or maybe they showed them really quick. And I thought, oh, they're probably the hand. Not the foot, but the hand. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, there's Gwen Stacy. Venom. Spider-Ham. Also, when I was young, my brother, he had some Conan comics, magazines, but he didn't have any comics. As he told me, you can't just start buying comics. But his friend must have, or his friends, because he told me about Spider-Ham. He said, do you know that there's a Spider-Man comic where it's called Spider-Ham, and Spider-Man is a pig? That's why they call him Spider-Man. I said, no, there's not. He goes, yeah, there is. And his secret identity is Peter Porker. I did not believe him. He also told me about the birds and the bees when I was very young. And I really didn't believe that type of stuff. Here are all the cartoons. So the 60s cartoon. Oh, here's the Electric Company. Oh, okay, yeah, there he is. It's in black and white. When I first started exploring YouTube, 14 years ago, something like that, I had this job where there was a computer and I could just surf the net while I was working, surfing the net. And I was remembering I was like, oh, this cool YouTube thing, I can look up, anything I want there. And I was trying to remember all the stuff I hadn't seen in a whole lifetime from my childhood. And I remembered the Electric Company and the Spider-Man And then they had some clips, and oh, it brought me back. Oh, and Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Firestar, that's the female. She debuted in this cartoon and later went to the comic books. It's weird they would show this picture because this was a guy from the future who was only in one episode. He was with Iceman. Oh, I remember being a kid on the playground and I would pretend to be Iceman and he would shoot his ice and make an ice block all around his body and break free. And then I would pretend to do that. Oh, and then here's the Spider-Man series after the first movie. Oh my goodness, I have these on DVD. They only made one season. It was like computer animated. And it was sort of following like the Tobey Maguire story after the first one. And Harry Osborn was the guy from 90210, did the voice. Did I say what's his name? Yeah, Ian Ziering. And Mary Jane was played by Lisa Loeb, who has the sweetest voice. If Lisa Loeb made ASMR videos, she would be the next big thing. Well, I never watched this one. Then there was this one, Spectacular Spider-Man, 2008 to 9. I did watch some of these. My friend sent me a bunch of those, and I liked it. I didn't finish watching it, but they took everything. It was back in high school, but they took storylines from the original Amazing Spider-Man comics from way back. All the people stuffed them all in. It was really neat. Like they had Patch, for goodness sake, the stoolie, who would go into the underground and worked as a reporter for the Daily Bugle. Okay. Did he have a pet chicken? Look at Rain. I don't know. I don't know anything about these Venom movies. I kind of got sick of Venom. I stopped collecting comic books because of Venom. No, not because of Venom. It's because I didn't have money. I was doing other stuff. You know, you gotta get a life. As in, you gotta move. You know, I did it as a teenager. You gotta put away your boys' things. Oh my goodness. Have you seen this? Spider Noir. This was on Netflix. Is it Netflix? Whatever. Some streaming service. A miniseries. It is so good. In the beginning, I thought, okay, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. And then I thought, well, the acting, at first I was like, the acting's a little weird. Obviously, they're trying to be like the 30s, Spider Noir. But then, I'm not going to ruin it. But if you're going to watch this show, watch it. Push through a few episodes, and then further along, something happens, and you're like, oh my god, reveals the layer. It's like a bloomin' onion. A bloomin' onion. Big fan. Oh my goodness. Nicolas Cage. He really blew it out of the park. Oh, and I was so happy to see Lamorne Morris? Is that how you say that? Lamorne. I never knew his name. He was on Good Girl, the TV show. And I always liked him on that show. And then I never saw him act in any other show and stuff. But he's always on commercials for this bank. And I thought, oh, poor... I forget what his name was on that show. Winston. His name was Winston. A New Girl. And he did a great job. And you can watch it in black and white, as one should watch a spider noir show that's set in a universe that is black and white. Or, I don't know, enhanced color, something like that. But, you know, I watched it as, you know, you should, in black and white. And it's very nice. Alright, we're coming to the end of our Spidey adventure. Oh, Aunt May and those original ones. She was so good. Back when Aunt May was old and had a frail heart. It's the whole reason Spider-Man adopted a secret identity. So, thanks for taking a look at my Spider-Man Time Special Edition.